If I had a hammer, I'd hammer out comic reviews. I'd hammer in the morning. I have a hammer. Playing around, hit myself with it, and then he turned on the camera. I am Sebastian. This is F3G2 in an empty, by this room standards, empty back room to an emptier Famous Faces and Funnies, because there's almost nothing out there, and I'm not saying that the shelves are empty. The shelves are fucking gone too, because they're all on wheels, and they just take like 80% of the store and go to MegaCon. I'm not at MegaCon for the second year in a row, because they changed the dates. MegaCon's gonna fall. It started today. It's gonna go Friday and Saturday, which is my birthday. I ain't going to MegaCon on my birthday. And then Sunday. I'm tired just thinking about it. Plus, I didn't really put out any new comics this year, so why bother going to just resell the old stuff? I'm not going to spend that much money to get a table with a big sign that says, I am a failure!
Shameless self-promotion.
No, it was definitely a shamed self-promotion. It's not shameless if your announcement is, I did nothing this year and I am a failure. Well, it's not that I did nothing.
You leave off the last bit.
I taught a lot of stuff, and I fought a school system of stupidity. But I didn't leave a lot of time for comical books.
Nope.
Anywho, Willy Wonka says, in a world of pure imagination. I can imagine that at a MegaCon during these hours. Let's start with the internet's darling. When Captain America hails his mighty Hydra, well, the internet collapses because they can't handle his shit, even though really it's one issue and it hasn't explained anything, so what the fuck you mad at it for? I don't know. The internet has gone crazy over Captain America's last page announcement of Hail Hydra and a potential background story that may show that Cap's mom was recruited into Hydra after an abusive father. Now, I'm not worried about any of this. Just like I wasn't worried when the internet exploded over the death of Captain America and we knew Steve Rogers would be back. Do I think Steve Rogers has always been a member of Hydra and will always be a member of Hydra? No. No, I do not. Am I worried about this? No. Am I interested in seeing where a really decently written story, Nick Spencer has been impressing me lately. It was a decently written story. I'm good with it. Also, this book has Jesus Saez. If he wanted to draw just the adventures of Hydra, I would buy that book, because Jesus Saez is like an art god, and I love him.
That actually sounds like it'd be interesting, too.
I'd read that. Why not? But the world is freaking out, despite the fact that on multiple occasions in this book, we have Captain America himself say, it's weird, since I've been aged, it's like I'm learning how to use this body, it's like it's new to me. This is weird, it's like I have to learn how to be myself all over again. So there's already hints that he may not be, having been de-aged by a sentient cosmic cube, that something may be amiss. Red Skull is running around with, inside of his Red Skull is Xavier's brain, and he has the power to fuck with people's minds. Both of these things are key elements to this story in which suddenly Cap is a member of Hydra. Could he just be doing some kind of undercover shit? We don't know, because it's the first issue.
Patience,
the whole world freaked out. And I've seen some interesting levels of this argument. I saw one article where people, first off, they're referring to it as like a publicity. It wasn't a publicity stunt. If it was a publicity stunt, they would have put out fucking publicity on it. We only found out when people read it and went, holy shit, and cried on the internet. But it's what it's called is a plot twist. It's called a turn. We're seeing where this goes. But there was one whole article where somebody posted in response to people like myself saying to calm down, because I realized that, you know, when Captain America Winter Soldier came out, people made memes of everyone and their grandmother saying Hail Hydra.
Yup.
Marvel makes one picture of Captain America saying Hail Hydra, internet breaks. But anywho, that one article was like, well, you know, Hydra, they're Nazis, they're anti-Semites. Going for a sale by making Captain America say he's an anti-Semite is wrong. I'm like, okay, whoa, back up. Hydra's not the Nazis. They're two separate crazy evil world organizations. One being an actual evil world organization that was anti-Semitic and anti-many other things. And the Hydra, even in the movies, we don't care about Zephyra's weird little...
We're just using them.
We're just using them because right now they have the power, and they're crazy, so they will listen to us. So Hydra... Before and after, Hydra hasn't really done, Marvel's got its own, you want to be racist and anti-Semite, you join the Serpent Society.
True.
They've got that. Join Hydra, because it's not that. So stop. Hydra is just a crazy group of world-dominating, make-believe people. And, yeah, I watched Indiana Jones dress up as a Nazi and get on a dirigible. Nobody freaked out. I watched Luke Skywalker be a stormtrooper. Aren't you a little short for them? Oh my God, nobody freaked out. Frodo and Sam had to dress like orcs to get pet. Nobody freaked out. Where's this story going? I don't know. It's one issue. They're not going to make Captain America into Captain Hydra. They've made him worse. He had a shield at one point, at a couple of points. People have also been saying, Simon and Kirby would never have done... Simon and Kirby did issues where he's been, put onto the actual, they've got him kneeling and hailing in front of Hitler, who's hiding behind a chair, yelling at the Red Skull, going, "You brought him here?" And Red Skull's like, "No, you don't understand. He's here to work for you." They've done that. Or at least, I don't know if that was a Simon issue, but I know Kirby did it, because I could recognize Kirby art anywhere. In later Marvel comics, they had him with a shield with a swastika on it. Good guys get turned into bad guys, sometimes because they're undercover, sometimes because they're brain controlled. It just happens. Relax, it's been an issue. We all know the Nazis are still bad guys. Plus, we all know that comic books have taught us anything. Nazis make the best bad guys because everybody hates them. And if you use anybody else as a bad guy, there's always somebody who is upset that, why are you using, you made all your bad guys, this group of people or that group. Oh, but they're not all bad, so there's always somebody upset. If you make Nazis bad guys, who the only ones who complain are? Other fucking Nazis. Nobody cares because they're Nazis. So Nazis are the perfect bad guys.
Only to be outdone by zombie Nazis.
No, zombie Nazis doesn't up the scale because zombies, you can feel indifferent. Zombies, nobody hates zombies. They're just mindless, whatever. The Nazis are actually evil, therefore, Plus, if you've seen movies like, or read the book, which was better, Warm Blooded, you can be a Nazi sympathizer. Not a Nazi sympathizer. You can be a zombie sympathizer. You can be a zombie sympathizer for iZombie. But no, if they made a TV show called iNazi, it wouldn't really have... it probably would have a huge audience, but mostly of, neo-Nazis who are evil and have a stupid name. So, that's my rant about that. I don't even know how I got here. Anywho, I got Justice League 50.
The internet.
Yeah, the internet.
Damn you, internet.
Justice League 50 has this, and Superman 52 lead to Rebirth. Justice League 50 wraps up the God War with not the God War, the Dark Side War with the Side of Dark. Rather nicely. We got first hint at a couple of things like what happened to Owlman in Metron's chair? Is Metron okay? Because one minute he's standing there. But we can suspect that things from outside the universe, possibly Watchmen related, are messing with the DCU. The chair didn't tell Batman a name for the Joker. It told him there were 3. And you've got Batman looking at a screen, and he's just looking at Joker face. He's like, what does it mean that there's 3? He's like, I don't know. But it says there's 3 Jokers. We also find out Wonder Woman had a twin brother. What happened to him? We don't know. Is he Wonder Man? Probably not. Barry hears a voice yell Barry, and he goes, who? And that's definitely tied in that. We get the death of a power ring and the birth of a Green Lantern. Just all around goodness. Superman 52 ends the saga of that Superman. But this was the strongest issue of that. But ultimately it leads into these. I don't remember which one's which. One of these is the main cover. I think this one. And the other one is the Midnight exclusive. I think this one.
Yeah, I think's the main.
I have them. It's been said before, but there's nothing more appropriate. This is Jeff Johns' love letter to fans and the DC Universe. This is them fixing it. Joy returns to the DC Universe. Love returns to the DC Universe. Hope returns to the DC Universe. And it does it in the form of Ted Kord. Also, Wally West comes back.
Did you hurt yourself reaching over
No.
and pat yourself on the back on that one?
I did not hurt myself. I can pat myself with the hammer on this one. Ted Kord is back. He's wearing goggles and a Blue Beetle t-shirt and flying around in a high-flying bug that he refers to. This great conversation with him and Jaime where he's like, this is going to... Jaime's like, what the hell is that? Jaime's like, couldn't you be working on something better, like how to remove the scarab from me? He's like, no, man, I built this. This is going to be like our portable, like our mobile Batcave. Why would anyone need a mobile Batcave? Why would anyone not need a mobile Batcave? Is Ted Kord's response. And meanwhile, poor Jaime's like, he's like, so you're not going to get this off because it itches. Like all the time. And Ted's like, nah, this is great. It's fate. And then Fate shows up and goes, it wasn't me. And Ted's like, and Fate's like, you don't know what you're doing. And he's like, look, alien technology got it under control. And Fate's like, no. Not alien technology. That's a lie. That whole story about the aliens calling themselves the Reach, that was a bit of a, wait for it, reach. That scarab's magic. And Ted's face, he's like, magic? I was so happy. Is he the Ted Kord that was a Blue Beetle? No.
Can he be a Blue Beetle? Maybe.
He's got the bug and goggles. So really, yeah, baby. What does make me sad a little is apparently Dan Garrett is still lost. Which mostly makes me sad for, in the original Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle series, one of my favorite additions was Danielle Garrett, the granddaughter of Dan Garrett, who had inherited all of Ted's Blue Beetle technology, including she had a bug, the BB gun, all of that stuff. And I think that adding like their own Blue Beetle Oracle equivalent to the team would be cool. But alas, she's not there. But this was so well done. It hit all the right notes. It restored things. It touched on things. It re-hit so many elements, so many parallels. Because Jeff Johns, I don't think, like Jeff Johns must go when he starts writing comics. His eyes just must you look at him and think he's high, but it's not. It's that his eyes have backed up, unfocused so much. They're not seeing anything up close. They're literally just seeing the entire big picture, the whole tapestry, and they go,
the universe.
Okay, so I could put this here, and it will remind everybody that, like, as Wally is trying to get back into place, there are whole panels where, like, look at that. That is fresh out of, that's the pose that Barry Allen was in when he appeared to Wally in, like, Wally or Batman or all the people that he was trying to reach out to when he was running and dying in Crisis, including, look, Vic, he remembers that he used to be a Titan with Vic. There are feels in this, so many feels, as as Barry looks at him and he's like, as he's breaking down while he's disappearing completely into the Speed Force, there's no place for him in this universe. He's been trying to get out, but there's no anchor to bring him down. No one remembers him. And he's talking to Barry, and he explains these things. Barry, thank you for an amazing life. And Barry's like, what? He's like, I don't understand. He's like, you were right, Barry. Everything was a gift. And as he's fading out into all this, Barry looks like, what the? Wally? And he grabs him, and he pulls him out. And they're crying, and he's like, I'm back. He's like, I'm so sorry, Wally. My God. How could I ever forget you? Or as the internet has already made a meme, they've got him saying, Hail Hydra.
God damn it.
Because, why not? But he remembers. And then they start to remember, some of their memories merge with the new 52, suddenly Wally was a member of that other Teen Titans that's got, baseball cap wearing arsenal. But Batman finds a clue as to who messed with the universe. Because it was Dr. fucking Manhattan who, the reason that when Barry fixed everything after Flashpoint, the reason it went to this whole New 52, and even Pandora's in there for a brief moment, for being wiped out ultimately. Dr. Manhattan is just fucking with he represents, as far as Jeff Johns is concerned, I guess Dr. Manhattan is a giant blue atomic existential holistic Alan Moore. He represents cynicism in superhero comics, and he stole a decade out of the DCU, and along with it, hope, love, everything, and just left this bleak new existence. And now we can eventually have the entire DCU versus
The Watchmen.
Yeah, that could come down to a thing. For all in all, it was really, 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 really good, and I'm looking forward to just about everything. Scooby-Doo Apocalypse, I got the Velma cover. I keep telling my wife this is her Halloween costume. You see it, right?
Oh, yes.
I'm married to Dinkley. But this, oddly enough, what they've done for Scooby-Doo here is, Jim Lee came up with the whole concept, but then he handed it off to Keith Giffen, James DeMatteis, and what the hell is Porter's first name? I never remember Porter. It's Howard Porter. So basically, the team from Justice League 3000. It's essentially, that's what it is. This is Scooby-Doo 3000. It's a reimagining in a way that Daphne and Fred. Daphne tried to be a real journalist, couldn't cut it. Is now a they do like one of those mystery, almost like the ghost hunters, myth bust, not myth but like ghost hunters, Bigfoot hunters kind of show. Velma works for this big, running everything science-y corporation that was doing tests on dogs. Shaggy works for them as well. The first dog they were able to do their experiments on and give him this hyper-intelligence was a success, so they made other dogs, but the other dogs are bigger badass dogs than the first one they experimented on. So these other dogs are probably going to kill this wussier dog. So Shaggy jumps in and says, no, you back off, and he takes, hipster Shaggy takes this this dog out of their hands and is like, no. But then the dog, like when Shaggy first meets the dog, he's like, he's talking, he's like, oh, I can't believe, he's like, I never said I wanted a dog, I just didn't want those others to kill it. He's like, And he's sitting there, he's like, that's it. Dental benefits or no dental benefits. I'm telling Blatsky that I'm quitting effective immediately. And no, don't look at me like that. Can't really expect me to. I mean, those other dogs, they're the nastiest bunch of. And Scooby goes, Ruh-roo. I don't care if you. Wait, did you just talk? Ruh-huh. Oh man, I really should have read those contracts. So he's now got these dogs, but mostly he has Scooby. And Scooby has a slight vocabulary, is smarter than your average dog, and he wears this thing that has this like Vegeta thing, and you can just check that rat monster rose to Rheinrausen.
So wrong.
Like we're in a post-apocalyptic future, Scooby. Wrong. But it makes emojis. Because since his vocabulary is so limited, basically you just have constant emojis of what Scooby's thinking. A lot of them, admittedly, are slices of pizza, fries, ice cream, cheeseburgers with a smile,
Food.
donuts, dog biscuits, slices of cake. But also, you'll get the thumbs up, winky faces, various. As he's happy, he's happy. It's good. I mean, they reinvent Scooby all the time. This one, at least you knew, like, look, we're not saying that this has always been, this has always been Scooby. We're saying this is this version of Scooby.
This is a new take.
And I'm very happy with it. I can't wait for the, what do you call it? I can't wait for the Road Warrior Penelope pit stop. Ms. Marvel, number 7. Science Fair comes around, and while Ms. Marvel has figured out that Miles Morales is this Spidey, he hasn't told her yet. So they're on obviously he's with one of the New York high schools, she's with one of the New Jersey high schools, and they're like science fair rivals. And then shit gets real, and suddenly heroes have to show up. It was very good and very. Somehow it was equal parts typical superhero comic and typical indie comic, or actually typical indie movie almost. It was, it's exactly what you expect and not what you'd expect, and that's what makes that comic continue to be great. Lois and Clark, Superman Lois and Clark, number 8. Jonathan tries on the costume. Oh no, he tries on Clark's old cape. Get a little bit more pieces. We wrap up some of the intergang story, getting ready for, this is ending this so that Clark's gonna take over the Superman role now that the other Superman is dead. But yeah, this ends with he puts on the cape, and after he's proven he was fireproof, he's tried to fly and he hasn't been able to. But now with the cape and the confidence and Dad there to tell him, look, don't make it happen. Let it happen. And he flies, and Lois is like, I always knew you were my little Superboy. And that brings us to something else. While this was great for everything that was in it, there's also some omissions. There's some characters we haven't seen yet. And they said more will be revealed down the line. They do give us a brief spot of the new Aqualad, the one...
Calderon?
Yeah, but what was his name? Jackson something in the comics, right?
Yeah, Jackson Hyde, I think it was.
Yeah. We get him for like a page. Look at Ted. Hi, Ted. Hi, Ted.
Getting back to your point.
But we get a brief moment of Jackson. And what I'm hoping is that maybe, since Damian is on the
Super
Teen
Sons?
Titans Rebirth...
Oh.
And he's in Super Sons with Jonathan Kent. Maybe there's room. Cassie wasn't listed as in this. Maybe there's room for not Bartor, but Bart Allen Impulse. Maybe there's room for Cassie, Sandsmark Wonder Woman, Tim Drake Red Robin, Con-El Superboy. Maybe you throw in Ms. Martian. Aqualad, and you give us a Young Justice comic? Yeah, you heard me. Do it now.
We demand this.
I have a hammer.
Touch my camera and I'll break your arm.
Secret sex. Ooh, it's over. That makes me sad, but it was so good. And Gail did the ultimate. She didn't kill Catman, and she restored Elongated Man and Sue to their rightful places of greatness.
Will not be continuing or rebooted.
As of
Sadness.
yet, no, and Gail isn't. As far as Gail Simone is let on, no, she's done here. Also, it introduced this fly goat thing, which I think they should do more of. But this was great. This was such a great book. Thank you, Gail, for giving us these 14 issues that got us through, helped get us through the new 52. Tony Bedard is why I read this. We know that I was like, no, new 52 Teen Titans. You've broken my heart too many times. I'm tired of trying to give you chances. Plus, you're ending. So good, just end. Go away and leave me alone. And then they said, for the end, we're going to let Tony Bedard write it. And I went, wait, why? Why couldn't you put him on something worthy of Tony Bedard? But fine, I'll read it for Tony Bedard. And it was good. But at the same time, the cloud looms over it that, for like the 2 issues that are left, it's not enough for Tony Bedard to undo all that hath been wrought upon the Titans. And we already know it's ending, so you're giving us this goodness, and it's like, it's over. You did that to me before when you let Cutter write Superboy, and it was great, and then you ended it, and then you let, as soon as it was over, you let Lobdell walk in and go, oh, no one using this? And fuck him up all over again. And then they did that thing in the other thing. They literally pulled him out of a storyline that was cool in Supergirl so that they could fuck him up again in Teen Titans. So, this was really good. And, but again, it's really good, but too late really good. Robin puts them all through their paces because he takes it personally, how failed they've failed in the past. But meanwhile, someone is starting a thing where they just make memes about supervillains. So you got it shows Lex's people showing him, owns Metropolis, can't evict illegal alien. And I laughed. And then they got Lex is actually kind of amused by it, and he's like, I don't mind. And he looks at, there's one of the Joker, and it says, so he's tall, dark, and angry? Girl, you're playing my song. And again, Lex laughs. And then they go, Killer Moth, you're seriously going with that? And then Lex gets to him and he goes, oops, they shouldn't have posted that. Some of us have zero sense of humor. And they posted a picture of the Brain saying, they said I could be anything I wanted, so I chose Brain in a pickle jar. And Monsieur Mala goes nuts. And Brain tells him, fine, you can, mess with that kid. And they do, but then Batman calls in Red Robin because they made one of Red Robin on this set because the Titans have gone so far off the reservation that it says, follow me, teen heroes, straight to prison. So a site that makes memes about villains is showing Red Robin because that's how far the Titans have fucked up. And Batman's like, fix it before I have to. And now we're going to have a Tony Bedard written Teen Titans versus Monsieur Mala and the Brain. So at least the Teen Titans, the new 52 Teen Titans will go out on a high note. Afterlife with RG. Reggie's a dick.
And it's finally back.
For who knows how long. But for right now, issue number 9, Reggie's a dick. This book is great. Reggie's a dick. Totally Awesome Hulk. Number 6. Hulk versus Thor. Hulk and Thor versus Enchantress. Cho and his sister versus each other's emotions. It's good. I'm really liking the Totally Awesome Hulk series. He continues to be totally awesome. Next issue, though, Return of Banner. In what capacity? Don't know, but I'll take it. Legacy of Luther Strode is over. And it's sad because it's over. There will be no more series, or at least there's no plans for one. Who knows? Maybe someday down the line, Justin Jordan could be like, you know what I could do? But no, he even has an end in place of a letters page. The inside cover is him saying, here's why it's over, and here's why I'm walking away, and how that was the hardest thing to do. So, if you haven't read these, you're crazy. Go read these. These are some of the best things. It's just like beautiful violence. And not violence for the sake of violence. It's literally been the opposite of that. It's been Luther Strode's ongoing mission to try and put a stop to violence for the sake of violence, and proving that while, violence, it's not that violence is never the answer. It's that violence isn't always the answer. And when it is, it should be for a purpose and not just for violence. And that's really, that's a lesson the world needs, Comics can be deep, bro. While we're on it, let's flip through here. Boom, boom, boom. More Justin Jordan. Strayer. I love this book. This is Justin Jordan's Aftershock. Strayer is a guy who fights monsters in, just a post-apocalyptic, monster-filled world. And there are bad guys on it. I love this. Talk about minimalist art. Like, it has this almost unfinished look, and yet almost it's almost symbol. I just love it, and I don't know why, because I'm very fussy with my line work. I like my Kevin Maguires and my my Jesus Saez's and my Phil Jimenez's. I like people with nice, perfect, clean
but that
lines.
Works.
And this, the lines, it's almost. I mean, it's almost empty, and yet it's not. And the colors work on just something on this really just works for me. It's like the definition of stylized, and I love this character. So far, I mean, we're only 4 issues in. We've got the idea of the typical post-apocalyptic people struggling to make an existence, a group of not quite government, but a group of people who are more about controlling what's left than building upon what's left. Monsters that are just out to be monsters, and the people that are trying to work the balance in between. And it's just been really good. Justice League 3001. This book is almost over. Colleen Durant's art is gorgeous. I'm still waiting for some glimpse of Booster and Beetle. I may have gotten a glimpse of Booster. There's a guy that somewhere in one of these panels. There's someone on the ground. I don't know, dead, unconscious. I don't know what, but there's no sign of Beetle. But that looks an awful lot like Booster lying back there.
Yeah, it does. Or at least somebody in a suit.
They tell us nothing. He hasn't been in the battle. None of them have shown up. So I don't know what the hell's going on. Something in it almost has this feel that they know they're on to other things post, rebirth, and they're just
killing time.
Yeah, I mean, there's even an actual panel where they talk about where you've got Nort and Larfleeze, and Nort's like, hey, Larfy, old buddy, old cosmic cousin, old pal, weren't we supposed to be part of this story? And Larfleeze says, Larfleeze does not appear in canceled comic books. But don't you think we... Case closed. And I'm like... Yeah. Colleen Durant's art is gorgeous. Extraordinary X-Men. Nightcrawler is instantly back to being his Nightcrawlery voice of reason self. Cyclops is now... Colossus is now Apocolossus.
Ooh.
Mole Men are creepy. Venom should never merge with Old Man Logan. Oh, shit, Venom merged with Old Man Logan.
Damn.
Ultimately, in this comic, my favorite character at the moment is Blob Herman. Who knew? Rachel Rising. Oh, we get an ending. We get closure. Can Rachel finally rest in peace? No. No, she can't. And Rachel Rising 42, final issue. But there's still clearly more for the story to tell.
Didn't they get an option for a show or something?
Everything gets option for a show. But this is a comic book that gives you a post-credit scene. We've got, the death. Followed by black page. Followed by credits. Followed by black pages. Followed by a post-credit scene to tie everything up. So the comic is over, but the story is not. Will she be back? I don't know. I hope so. This book was great. If not, if it ends just like that, it's still perfect. Grayson really, I don't know Lansing's first name. Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly write the hell out of this, and really, it's just, it ends everything here, sets up everything for Rebirth, puts Bertinelli where she needs to be the huntress that we sort of know and love in Rebirth, and Dick Grayson really reflects on who he is and has a great, Superman moment at the end as he runs away, and, Helen Bertinelli says to him, hey, next time we meet, I can't wait to see who you are. And he goes, neither can I. And he goes, run down the... And as he does this, he's pulling open his spiral gear. And the blue Nightwing outfit, is under there. He does get the Marvel treatment. Daredevil's done it recently, just now, actually. Spidey's done it. He does get the whole, I showed the world who I am, nobody remembers who I am. Most people don't even remember Dick Grayson. But it was Helena, it was Huntress who does it. And while she's possessed by, it's complicated, but she's like, look, I left, there are key people that I left who still remember everything, your Bat family, your Gotham, and he's like, why would you do it? She's like, because, I understand now they're not your weaknesses, they're who you fight for, and I'm not gonna, you've been doing all of this and had that whole family stolen from you, I wasn't gonna take it from you again. And I was like, that's some powerful stuff. Ghostbusters International destroys the Louvre. This is number 5. Venkman is such a dick that even when he's not there, at this point, Egon can't function without filling in possible thing. He's like, at this point of the recording, Venkman will likely make a comment about the book's name or pronunciation with an outside possibility. He's referenced the Norwegian flight attendant who punched him out in grad school. Get it all out of your system, Peter. This is quite serious. Venkman's in France. Spengler's still back in New York, and he's still, just dealing with, look, while you're hearing this is going to be your reaction, blah, blah, blah. Somebody fucked with Elektra in Daredevil 7, and made her think that somebody fucked with Elektra. She was looking for her daughter. Turns out she never has one. Somebody played an ultimate mind game, and now there's a pissed off Elektra going after because you don't fuck with Elektra's mind. Matt blames himself, and we don't get the reveal as to why. He says he's thinking to himself as old as his. He's like, I didn't do this to you. I didn't do this, but that doesn't mean it's not my fault. Also, the art on this is gorgeous, and Matt looks a lot like Mr. Slater. I don't remember his name. Cox. What's TV Daredevil's name? I don't remember. In my head, he's always Mr. Slater from
Charlie Cox.
Yeah, Charlie Cox will always be to me Mr. Slater, the man, the Irish assassin my wife had a huge crush on in Boardwalk Empire. Spider-Man Deadpool surprised us all by being poignant.
Surely you just.
No, I don't. Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly. Oh, Joe Kelly.
That explains it.
Up till now, the whole point has been, Deadpool has been playing the Flash Thompson role. What does that mean, you ask? Well, what it means is he's been the ultimate Spidey fan, but hates Peter Parker. He thought Peter Parker was this bad guy he needed to kill because someone told him that and hired him to kill Peter Parker. And he's been hanging out with Spidey, and Spidey's really been an influence on him and making him want to be a better person. He kills Peter Parker. With his wife being a demon and all, he waits to see that, the soul show up in hell to be punished. Doesn't. He has her bring back Peter Parker, kills him again, and waits again. He's like, come on, souls must end up in the wrong place all the time, right? And she's like, no, that never happens. He goes, oh, shit. So he goes in, has himself temporarily killed since he can't stay dead, and goes in to pull out the soul of Peter and explains to Peter that, look, you need to, almost like a Patronus, you need to focus. And when he is able to, instead of just a vague shape, make a full soul Spider-Man, Deadpool's like, oh my god, this Peter Parker guy's that's the purest soul I've ever seen. Oh my god. But that's not all. Now this how Peter Parker is one of the noblest characters in the Marvel Universe. Not only is Deadpool making these major changes of self and beyond self-realizations, not only am I hugging a hammer, but
Very tightly.
I wanted to get away. I don't believe that whole if you love a hammer, let it go. If it comes back to you, then it's yours. I've lost too many hammers that way. But
I believe it.
what also happens is Mephisto is there.
Oh, God.
And Mephisto whispers in Peter, doesn't tell him the full thing, but Mephisto says to him, look, I know a secret. I know why you can't ever find what you want. And he's like, but you had it. He goes, but I did this to you. Remember, in your darkest times, whenever you try to find happiness, it's not real, and you will always have this emptiness that I did to you. He basically just fucks with him over one more day, brand new day, without telling him what it. And I'm like, at this point, old me would have leapt on this as, oh, can this mean he can find out now and fix it? No. New me doesn't even care. New me loves the idea of Mephisto just being such a dick to him about it. Captain Marvel joined the might that is Alpha Flight. Captain Marvel number 5. I am loving the shit out of Captain Marvel and Alpha Flight. Michelle Fazekas and Tara Butters are the writers. Chris Anka and Felipe Smith on art. Matthew Wilson on colors. And BC's Joe Caramagna on letters. I don't usually get into the whole credits thing because I never think of it. This was so good. Captain Marvel's leadership skills and even her non-combat leadership skills shine through. This book is so making friends out of enemies and at least allies out of adversaries, and at the same time Puck continues to be. I'm just very happy with this. I didn't think I was going to when they made Alpha Flight a base in space, and so far, I don't know why Canada just gave up, Alpha Flight as a whatever, but I'm sure it said, hey, yeah, let's let Captain Marvel be in charge. But they wear their little Canadian flags on the uniform. It's a Canadian. They don't have little make beliefs. They have the Captain Marvel star, and they have I don't know what the other symbol is, but it's it's an international base, and you've got Alpha Flight represented in at least you've got Puck and Sasquatch in space, so I'm happy. But it's more than that. That's all I thought was going to be my hook, but it turns out it's really great, and that's a hell of a thing to do even on that level, and then when you take into consideration that this poor creative team had to follow up on the Kelly Sue DeConnick Captain Marvel runs, where she basically defined what we think of when we think Captain Marvel for today over at Marvel. That's a hell of a win, is to be able to do that good a job of it. And they do. They do. We are Robin ends, and despite the fact that we've got more Robins than anyone will ever need, it looks like Duke is going to become a Robin over in Batman, which I'm happy for, but I really wish they'd given him a different person. You know, like we had Bluebird and we had whatever, would have been better, simply because after everything that's gone on, to, you know, say, it's one thing that you're saying, okay, you know, you're fine, you can go do your own thing, Damian, but your son is Robin now, and you're just going, I still replaced a new Robin. I got a new Robin. Although we are Robin established that you can have multiple Robins, but they really weren't direct Batman Robins. They were their own kind of thing. So to say, I mean, I like the character Duke. I'm happy to see. I'm just confused as to how that fits in. You know, you've had Robins grow up and leave, and you replaced Robins. You've had Robins blow up and die, and you replaced Robins. But now you've got your own son as a Robin, and he's like, you know, you're going to be over there? All right, well, I'm going to get another Robin for while you're with the Titans. It just seems kind of cold. Plus, this issue confused me because whereas Duke lets on to Alfred that, you know, I knew it was you behind all this stuff, seemed to be, you know, the whole story takes place in Wayne Manor. People are robbing Wayne Manor and the Robins show up. But at no point does either to the other characters or to us does Duke let on that he knows Bruce Wayne is Batman, which he clearly does, since he's the one who told Batman. He's the one who told Bruce Wayne when Bruce Wayne didn't remember. Look, knock this shit off. I can't find my parents. They're going through a hell of a thing. I get that you got your happy ending, but nobody else did. You need to be fucking Batman. And Bruce went, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, he knows this shit. I mean, I get how he earned to be. You know, he definitely earned his Robin status. But he makes no reference to that there, and I'm almost like, shouldn't he be, you know, all right, you guys go, I'll see you later, and just so go out, well, you know, let me downstairs. I gotta put on a real costume. But nonetheless, I'm out of comical books, so goodbye, interwebs.
Thanks for watching another video from Gonna Geek. If you like geeky stuff, check out our podcast network, our news and articles, and our community forums. You can find it all at GonnaGeek.com, like us at Facebook.com/GonnaGeek, tweet us at GonnaGeek, subscribe to our YouTube channel at YouTube.com/GonnaGeek, and check out our live programming at GonnaGeek.com/live.